Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of One with 1 Nil. And I've got arguably my most exciting guest so far. I've got Melbourne Victory superstar, New Zealand international superstar, and he's preparing for camp for the upcoming Women's World Cup in a very, very, very short amount of time. Claudia Bunge, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, we just mentioned previously you're in New Zealand now, preparing for camp, all that sort of thing. How excited are you for the upcoming Women's World Cup?
Yeah, it's very exciting, super close now. I think it's like 2 weeks until the first game kicks off. And yeah, we've been training hard and we're moving into a hotel together tomorrow. So yeah, it's all starting to feel really real.
Awesome. So we'll touch on that because obviously I'm here in Australia and everyone we've had on has been in here in Australia too. And we know what the buzz is like here, but I want to later on touch about what that feeling's like in New Zealand, especially. But before we get into that, I asked the previous guest before they leave to ask me a question to start off with my next guest. So we had Sam Yerman on. We actually had Alana Yanchevsky on, but I forgot to ask her that question. So we'll ignore that. But
Yeah.
Sam Yerman asked, who do you remember first watching and who made you fall in love with football?
Oh, that's a very good question. I guess, yeah, the person who made me fall in love with the game is Marta de Silva. She plays for Brazil and is
Yeah.
going to be coming to the sixth World Cup, I think. So, yeah, she's an incredible player and someone that I used to watch as a kid growing up. She played with that Brazilian flair, and
Yeah.
yeah, I used to like look her up on YouTube and like find like highlight reels. And yeah, I just thought she was awesome. So yeah, she's probably the one player that sticks out for me.
Awesome. Now, obviously, we mentioned you're in New Zealand and you obviously come over to play for Melbourne Victory and all that sort of thing. What was growing up in New Zealand like from the youth level and playing in that youth level, especially in the women's
Yeah,
game as well?
yeah, it wasn't football back then. It wasn't even that long ago. I'm only 23, but it wasn't like a super common sport for girls per se. More like rugby and netball are the big ones over here. But it was really popular for boys. So I guess like growing up, we had to play a lot with boys once you reach like a certain age, like around like 13, 14, 15. You kind of have to yeah, you play with boys a lot and then you kind of have to like make the jump to women's football. And you're still like really tiny, so it can be a
Mhm.
little bit hard to adjust. But yeah, it's getting more popular over here now for girls. And yeah, like you said, I went through the youth system, under 17s and under 20s. And yeah, it was really cool. We get obviously we go through the Oceania qualifications, so
Yeah.
usually we get to go to those World Cups for 17s and 20s, and I think they're just really good experiences to like yeah, have like international football, like a first taste of it. And yeah, they're really cool tournaments to be involved in. So yeah, I'm lucky to have represented New Zealand in both those age groups.
Definitely, definitely. So, I mean, you mentioned now you're playing at Victory. You're going to come up against, hopefully, we've got to come up against some of maybe some of the girls that you play with or other people that you may have played with or against in the past. What's that sort of like in the Melbourne Victory change room, especially, or even when you're playing against the other A-League women's team? Sort of, you might have been teammates with them, or you might have been opposition with them from another United or another A-League women's club, for example, and then coming up against them on a national stage. Is that extra sort of bit of rivalry there? Is that something that you girls will talk about during the year, especially leading up to the World Cup? Like, hey, wait till we get you at the World Cup, maybe. Well, what's that
Yeah,
feeling like?
yeah, it's really cool. I think whenever you play against your friends, you know, yeah, it's always going to be a little bit extra competitive because you don't want the other person having bragging rights. So yeah, for A League, like a lot of my Ferns teammates were playing in the A League, so most weeks I was coming up against someone that I knew pretty well. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to play against Kyra, Courtney, and Chids a bit when New Zealand and Oz played each other last year, which was really cool. And then obviously we've got the Philippines in our pool for World Cup, and Angie Baird's going to be playing for them. So yeah, it's going to be really cool, and it's cool playing against your mates at A League level. But I think yeah, if it's an international game, it's yeah a little bit extra special. And we always want each other to do well, just maybe not so well when we're playing each other. So yeah, it'd be cool to see Angie and Wellington on the 25th.
Definitely. So, I mean, we mentioned that guys are about to go into the hotel and do that sort of stuff with obviously at this moment, it's about 2 weeks away. Probably when this comes out, probably be the week of the first game. So, if you can, I want you to run me through sort of what I guess, a day in the life or a week in the life has been for you, and for you especially, and with the Women's World Cup preparation, how different is it to maybe your club sort of training and your club week throughout the season?
Yeah, it is a little bit different. So we've, like I said, we've been in camp and we've just had a short break, not even a week, just to kind of refresh because we've been in camp for 2 months now, which is quite a long time. But we train Monday to Friday, which I guess is a bit different to club. Usually would train like 2 or 3 days for club, have a break, and then kind of go again in the second half of the week. But yeah, it's pretty regiment here, and yeah, we're doing a lot of work, and there's probably like a lot more meetings compared to like what there was at Victory with Jeff, although he did love a meeting as well. Um, and yeah, I've been lucky enough. I've been living at home. I'm from Auckland, so it's been nice to like have that time in camp with the girls, and we're spending all day together, and then being able to kind of remove myself from like a football setting and be home with mum and dad and my younger brother. So yeah, it's been really nice, and yeah, our days are pretty long. Like we go in around like 10 a.m. You get strapped up, physio. We'll have like a meeting, go out on the grass for a couple hours. Usually there's like a meeting after, and then we're like in the gym, and yeah, then there's like lunch and things like that. So like all up, it's kind of like a 6, 7 hour long day. So it's pretty long. But yeah, we're a good group, and everyone's really close, and yeah, we really enjoy spending time with each other. So we're not sick of each other yet. So hopefully that can carry over when we move
Awesome.
into.
Yeah, I think it's something important as well. Like I think you can see in something here that we've sort of seen from the Matildas, is it does feel like a very close knit group, and it feels like that obviously transcends as well, I guess, onto the pitch, hopefully. So if that's something that you guys can feel, and that's something like that vibe that everyone's there is getting, then I mean you've got the home ground advantage, so to speak, too. So I mean, the sky's the limit, I guess. But what's the buzz like around New Zealand? I mean, we'd love to come down and see a game there in New Zealand, but what's the
Yeah,
buzz like there? Is it starting to pick up? I know there's been a bit of, we mentioned here in Australia that, we've got people trying to push it. And obviously, you know,
yeah,
I think now we're really starting to see it where it's a little bit closer, where people are really starting to build that
yeah,
buzz. But, I went when I got tickets, we're going to go to Queensland. So we're going to go into states to go to watch some games,
yeah,
and a lot of games here. And the tickets are pretty much all sold out pretty much everywhere. So if that's
yeah.
something to go by, there's a really good sort of excitement about it. But what is that buzz like in New Zealand, and does it really start to get firing, sort of thing?
Yeah, it's very much the same to Australia. I think Kiwis are a bit funny. We always like we don't well, obviously because we've never had a football World Cup to this like degree in New Zealand ever. So I don't think Kiwis like quite realize like how big it's gonna be, and
Yeah.
we're like we're really cruisy, and I don't think people realize until probably like the tournament starts like how big of a deal it is. But over the last few weeks, and like it's definitely starting to pick up momentum. I think 2 of our 3 games are almost sold out. And yeah, I live like pretty central, so like when I'm driving just around town and stuff, there's just banners everywhere.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's just like kind of happened over the last couple of days, and yeah, it's starting to be put out there a lot now. And it's all over the news, and people are talking about it, and family and friends, and people I haven't seen for a long time. It's all starting to, yeah, the hype is definitely there, which is really cool to see. And yeah, we've got a couple warm up games between now and our first game. So yeah, it's definitely starting to feel real. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic tournament. And obviously, it's being in Australia as well. I think, like you said, like everyone's just really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Definitely, and that's awesome to say that it's really picking up, because I think what you said, and we've mentioned it a couple of the guests that I've had on. I don't think people really understand how big it actually is going to be. I think it is one of those things that
Yeah.
once it starts, that's when people are going to realize. And I'm here at Ultra Football, which we obviously had you on a couple months ago now.
Yeah.
And it is that sort of thing. It's like we're going to get a lot of tourists to start to roll through the store, especially. So I think that's
Yeah.
the thing that I'm probably most excited to see. Just literally, just anyone and everyone come into our
Yeah.
country to watch the football. It's like it's got to be us plus another couple million, maybe, sort of thing. So just
Yeah.
across everywhere. So that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to see. What's something that you're most excited to see for the Women's World Cup?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, like seeing lots of international travelers coming to New Zealand, really obviously with COVID. They couldn't go over, and we couldn't go up there either. So I think that'll be really cool. And I feel like Australia and New Zealand are quite diverse countries, and we embrace like cultural diversity. So yeah, I think like as host nations, like you can't pick better places. And although it's winter in both our countries, they're still beautiful. So I think, yeah, people will really love that. And obviously, both big sporting nations too. So I think people will really get behind. But I think the thing I'm mostly looking forward to is just playing in front of my family and friends, and being able to interact with like a home crowd. You don't get to yeah, have that interaction every day. And yeah, having a home World Cup, as everyone's kind of been harping on, is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So yeah, we just want to grab it with both hands and make our country proud. And I would say that Matildas will be feeling exactly the same.
Definitely awesome. I appreciate your time as well. So before we do leave, I want to ask you as well one question for
Okay.
my next guest. And do you know Carly roast bacon from Melbourne City?
Oh
Oh
yeah, I
yeah,
know
yeah.
Carly. Better and
She'll be on next. So if you
okay.
want to tailor a question to that, it can be anything. It can be about life. It can be about football. It can be whatever you want.
Okay, I'll ask her what her pre-match meal is.
Okay, I feel like that's the smile on that whether you said that with makes me feel like it might be a little bit weird.
I don't know. That's just one I
Uh,
had came up with.
actually, no.
Yeah, actually, she's cool. But yeah, that's my
Right.
question for her.
Awesome. Claudia, thank you so much. And I know we've been trying to get this done for a couple of weeks, but I do appreciate it a lot. And it's awesome that we're gonna have someone that's featuring the Women's World Cup feature here on One Nil as well. So we do appreciate it a lot. So best of luck to you. I know I'm here supporting the Matildas, but I'll be supporting the Kiwis as well as the tournament goes. And never know, hopefully you're a World Cup winner or a grand finalist because the Matildas win it. But anyway, but then we can
Yeah.
get you back on as well as a champion.
Thanks, Costa. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Make sure to go check out Claudia as well. Make sure to check out New Zealand, do all that stuff, and Melbourne Victory as well next year. As we know, we're big Victory fans here at 1 nil too. So make sure to check her out and all that. Give her support, follow the socials, do all that business, and make sure to like, subscribe on this video, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.